What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Write in Code. Today, we're building the World Clock project, this time with Bootstrap. I'll show you how Bootstrap 5 utility classes make it super easy to create a modern, responsive clock app, and how a little custom CSS gives it that slick, glassy look you can't get with Bootstrap alone. Want the source code or other frameworks? Links are right below. Let's start with the structure. Our project folder is simple and organized. There's an index.html file for the main markup, a style folder with our main.css style sheet for the custom look, and a JS folder with root.js for all the clock logic. This keeps everything neat and easy to follow.
If you open up index.html, you'll see Bootstrap CDN included right at the top. The magic starts in the body tag, where we use Bootstrap's flex utilities to center everything, both vertically and horizontally, and min_vh100 to make sure our app always fills the screen. Inside, the main container is styled with Bootstrap's background, opacity, border radius, shadow, and padding classes, giving it that frosted glass effect. The heading is big, bold, and centered thanks to Bootstrap's display, font weight, color, margin, and text alignment utilities. The clocks themselves are laid out using Bootstrap's grid system, so they're always responsive, side by side on big screens, stacked on small ones. Each clock card uses Bootstrap for a semi-transparent background, rounded corners, shadow, padding, and flex alignment. The city names and digital clocks also get their size, color, and spacing from Bootstrap classes, while the digital clock gets a digital look from a custom font in the CSS.
Now, Bootstrap does a lot, but it can't do everything. That's where main.css comes in. Here, we set a dramatic background image with a gradient and blend mode for a unique look, and set the font for the whole app. The container gets a semi-transparent background, big border radius, shadow, and a blur effect for that glass morphism style. Each clock card gets a little extra transparency and shadow, while the digital clock gets a gradient background, custom font, letter spacing, box shadow, text shadow, and a smooth hover effect. The border and padding for the digital clock are handled by Bootstrap, but the gradient and digital font are all custom. Finally, a media query makes sure the layout stays clean and readable on any screen size. The program begins with the function drawAnalogClock (CTX) time, which is responsible for drawing the analog clock for a specific time zone. Here, the CTX parameter represents the canvas's 2D drawing context, and time is a JavaScript date object containing the current time for that zone. First, the clock's radius is calculated based on the canvas size, and the canvas is cleared to prepare for redrawing. The drawing state is then saved, and the origin is shifted to the center of the canvas to make positioning easier. A circular clock face is drawn, complete with a border, and the numbers 1 through 12 are placed around it using rotation and translation within a loop. From the time object, the current hour, minute, and second are extracted, and 3 calls to the helper function drawHand draw the hour, minute, and second hands. Each hand's position is determined using trigonometry, and finally a small center dot is added to complete the face before restoring the drawing state. The drawHand function itself handles drawing a single clock hand by rotating the context to the required angle, then drawing and styling the line according to the given length, width, and color. To keep both analog and digital clocks updated, the updateClocks function is used. It defines an array of time zones, retrieves the current time for each zone, and creates a date object for it. The analog clock for each zone is drawn by calling drawAnalogClock with the appropriate canvas context, while the digital clock is updated by setting the text content of the corresponding HTML element. Finally, the program uses setInterval, updateClocks 1000 to refresh the clocks every second, and window.onload equals updateClocks ensures the clocks are displayed immediately when the page loads. This step-by-step approach ensures that both analog and digital clocks for New York, London, and Tokyo are always accurate and visually synchronized. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining us on Writing Code. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Have a project idea in mind? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video.